The forest breathed. Sunlight, dappled and warm, filtered through the canopy. Birds sang, hidden amongst the leaves. A gentle breeze rustled through the tall grass. John, an experienced hiker, moved confidently through the ancient woodland. His backpack was light, his spirits high. He smiled, lost in the tranquility of the wilderness. John felt at peace. He was a visitor in this pristine realm. Little did he know, danger lurked nearby. The air, moments ago serene, grew heavy. The birdsong faded, replaced by an unsettling silence. John, sensing the shift, stopped in his tracks. A primal fear, instinctive and raw, began to stir within him. His senses sharpened, every rustle of leaves, every snapping twig amplified. He scanned the undergrowth, his breath catching in his throat. Something was wrong. A guttural roar, deep and powerful, shattered the quiet. John's blood ran cold. The sound was primal, echoing through the dense forest, sending shivers down his spine. It was the unmistakable sound of a lion, close and hungry. The air was thick with tension, every rustle of leaves amplifying the sense of impending danger. The ground trembled as the lion crashed through the undergrowth. Each step it took seemed to reverberate through the earth, a reminder of its immense power. Its eyes, twin points of fire, locked onto John. He was the prey. The intensity of the lion's gaze was paralyzing, a predator's focus that left no room for doubt. Panic threatened to overwhelm him, but John knew he had to act fast. His survival instincts kicked in, pushing him to think clearly despite the fear gripping his heart. There was nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The forest, once a place of adventure, now felt like a trap, its dense foliage offering no sanctuary. He was facing the king of the jungle, alone and vulnerable. The lion's majestic presence was undeniable, a stark contrast to John's fragile humanity.
John's heart pounded in his chest. Each beat was a deafening drum, a reminder of the life he was fighting to protect. His mind raced, desperately searching for an escape. Every second counted, and he knew he had to find a way to outmaneuver the beast. He knew that confronting the lion head-on was futile. The lion's raw power and predatory instincts were unmatched. He needed to outsmart it, to use his wits against its brute strength. John took a deep breath, trying to calm his nerves and focus on a plan. John reached for his backpack, his fingers fumbling in his haste. The contents of the bag were his only hope, a lifeline in this dire situation. He had to find something, anything, to defend himself. His hands closed around a sturdy stick, a makeshift weapon that would have to do. With a determined look, he prepared to face the lion, ready to fight for his life.
John's hand closed around a small metal cooking pot, the only weapon he could find. It wasn't much, but it was all he had. The lion charged, a blur of muscle and teeth. John, summoning every ounce of strength, swung the pot with all his might. The metal clanged against the lion's skull, the impact jarring John to his core. The lion, momentarily stunned, staggered back.
The forest echoed with the sounds of our struggle. I fought with the ferocity of a man possessed, dodging and weaving, using the dense undergrowth to my advantage. I knew that every second I survived was a victory. But the lion was relentless, its hunger a primal force.
John stumbled, his foot catching on a gnarled root. He fell, the breath knocked from his lungs. The lion was upon him in an instant, its hot, fetid breath on his face. John closed his eyes, bracing himself for the end. He could feel the lion's weight pressing down on him, its claws digging into his flesh. The jaws of death had never felt so close.
But the bite never came. I opened my eyes to see the lion, its attention diverted, a distraction, a glimmer of hope. A small, scraggly monkey, chattering angrily, was perched on a branch above the lion, dropping twigs and leaves onto its head. The lion, momentarily distracted by this unexpected annoyance, turned its head towards the monkey. This was my chance, my one and only opportunity for escape. I scrambled to my feet, my body aching, my clothes torn. I didn't waste a second looking back. I ran, my lungs burning, my legs screaming for respite. I could hear the lion roaring behind me, the sound receding with every desperate step.
The forest floor became a blur of brown and green. Thorns tore at his skin, but John didn't care. He ran with the primal instinct of survival, his body fueled by fear and adrenaline. He didn't dare to slow down, not even for a moment. The memory of the lion's hot breath, its terrifying roar, spurred him onward.
Ahead, through the tangle of trees, I saw it. A cliff face, rising sheer and imposing from the forest floor. It was a treacherous climb, but it offered a chance, however slim, of escape. I didn't hesitate. I scrambled up the rocky slope, my hands raw, my muscles burning with fatigue. I could hear the lion gaining on me, its roars echoing through the canyon.
John's fingers grasped a handhold, small and precarious. His feet scrabbled for purchase on the loose shale. He pulled himself upward, inch by agonizing inch. Below him, the lion paced at the base of the cliff, its frustration growing with each passing moment. Its roars echoed off the rock face, a chilling reminder of John's precarious situation. Section 7. A glimmer in the darkness.
Just when my strength was failing, I saw it. A small ledge hidden behind a curtain of vines. I hauled myself up, collapsing onto the narrow platform, my chest heaving. I lay there for a moment, catching my breath, the sound of my own heartbeat loud in my ears. I was safe for now.
John peered down from his precarious perch. The lion was still there, pacing back and forth at the base of the cliff. It was a magnificent creature, powerful and deadly, but it was also clearly frustrated by its inability to reach John. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the forest floor, the lion finally gave up its pursuit, melting back into the undergrowth. Section 8. Nature's Embrace.
I spent the night huddled on the ledge, my body aching from the cold and the hard surface beneath me. My mind replaying the terrifying encounter with the wild beast that had nearly taken my life. I watched as the stars emerged, cold and distant in the night sky, offering a stark contrast to the warmth I desperately craved. I felt a profound sense of gratitude for my survival, knowing that many might not have been so fortunate. A renewed appreciation for the fragility of life washed over me, making me realize how precious each moment truly is. I had stared death in the face and had been spared. A humbling experience that left me feeling both vulnerable and resilient.
As the first rays of dawn filtered through the trees, casting a golden hue over the forest, John knew he couldn't stay on the ledge forever. The forest was waking up, and so must he. He had to find his way back to safety, to civilization, where he could find help and rest. Carefully, he began to explore his surroundings, looking for a way down from the cliff, each step calculated to avoid further danger. He knew he was still in danger, still vulnerable to the elements and the creatures that called this forest home, but he also knew he had survived the night, a small victory in the grand scheme of his ordeal. He had faced his fear and had emerged, battered but not broken, ready to take on whatever challenges lay ahead with a newfound determination. With each step, he felt a growing sense of hope, a belief that he could find his way out of this wilderness and back to safety. The forest, once a place of terror, now seemed to embrace him, guiding him towards his journey's end. Section 9, A New Dawn.
After what felt like an eternity, I found a treacherous but passable route down the backside of the cliff. I descended slowly, my every move cautious. I emerged from the forest, battered and bruised, but alive. I had survived a night alone in the wilderness, a night I would never forget.
John's ordeal had changed him. He had looked into the abyss and had found a strength he never knew he possessed. He had faced his own mortality and had emerged with a profound respect for the power of nature and the preciousness of life. He carried with him the scars of his encounter, both physical and emotional, but he also carried a newfound appreciation for the beauty and the brutality of the natural world. Section 10, Scars and Lessons. John's story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a reminder that even in the face of unimaginable danger, there is always hope. His journey through the dense forest was not just a physical challenge, but a mental and emotional one as well. Each step he took was a step towards survival, a step towards understanding his own limits and pushing beyond them. It is a story about the raw power of nature, the fine line between predator and prey, and the importance of respecting the wild. The forest is a place where the rules of civilization do not apply, where the balance of life and death is constantly in play. The lion, a symbol of raw power, reminds us that in the wild we are not the top of the food chain. And it is a story that will stay with you long after you finish reading it. A reminder that adventure, while exhilarating, can also be fraught with peril. As John sat by the campfire, the flickering flames mirrored the flickers of his thoughts, reflecting on the day's challenges and the lessons learned. The sunset, a beautiful yet fleeting moment, symbolized the transient nature of life and the importance of seizing each moment. The wilderness holds many lessons for those willing to listen. The rustling leaves, the distant calls of wildlife, and the whispering winds all have stories to tell. For John, these sounds were not just background noise, but a symphony of survival, each note teaching him something new about the world and himself. It is a place of both beauty and danger, of tranquility and terror. The forest's serene landscapes can quickly turn into scenes of chaos during a storm, reminding us of nature's duality. The wildlife, while fascinating, can also pose threats, making it clear that beauty and danger often coexist in the wild. John's experience serves as a powerful reminder that when venturing into the wild, we must always be prepared for the unexpected. Packing the right gear, knowing how to navigate, and being mentally prepared are crucial for survival. Each item in John's backpack was a lifeline, each decision a step towards safety. We must respect the creatures that inhabit these spaces and acknowledge that we are visitors in their domain. The encounter with a wild animal is a humbling experience, a reminder of our place in the natural order. Observing wildlife from a distance, John learned the importance of coexistence and respect for all living beings. And, most importantly, we must never underestimate the power of nature to both challenge and inspire us. Standing on a mountain peak, John felt a sense of accomplishment and awe. The challenging terrain he faced was not just a physical obstacle, but a metaphor for life's challenges. Each hurdle he overcame made him stronger, more resilient, and more appreciative of the world around him.